In episode 2 of King the Land, we left off with Sarang being absolutely smitten by Gu-won's gorgeous looks. While Gu-won and Sarang are mesmerized by how they look, Sarang can't stop herself from taking a dig at his hairstyle when he is mean about her smile. After some usual bickering between the two of them, they quickly get on with the live broadcast. As we know, Sarang has been given a new set of questions at the last minute that Gu-won has no idea about, courtesy of his older sister. The questions are all about his mother, and he walks out on Sarang, who is quick on her feet and carries on like a natural until he comes back. In her monologue, she talks about how working at King Hotel was her dream because her visit there as a child changed her life. She hopes to do the same for all customers who visit them. In the meanwhile, Gu-won gets some air and returns, realizing that his sister was attempting to sabotage him. Gu-won is once again surrounded by painful memories of the past, but knows that he needs to return. While Sarang carries on the live broadcast with her memories at the King Hotel, Gu-won returns and asks for the interview questions. He gives them a look and understands what has happened, following which he throws them away and has Sarang ask questions of her own. Sarang points out to the sunset and the two make their way closer to the viewpoint. The scene of their backs, as they face the sunset, is captured and becomes a hit. After the interview, they face off and she tells him not to mess with her livelihood. He takes a step forward menacingly and asks if she even knows what she did in the interview. An excited Sang-sik pops up in the middle as their sunset photo is trending. He comments on how they should go for a romantic concept for the photo shoot the next day, and Gu-won declares only one shot per location is to be taken. He then sulks while looking at the broken pocket watch and recalling memories with his mother when he was young. Meanwhile, at King Air's headquarters, senior flight attendant Yoo Soo-hyun is busy taking the weight of the rest and mocks Pyonghwa, who is 53 kilograms. Soo-hyun, however, is all smiles for Ro-woon and even exempts him from the assessment. Unhappy with the way she is bullying the rest, he asks her to weigh herself, but she runs off. On their next flight, Ro-woon cheers Pyonghwa up, who is told to go on a diet. She gives him a scarf for his mother as a thank you for helping her the last time. The following day, Sarang and Gu-won begin the photo shoots at different locations, but the latter is unable to give the photographer a convincing smile. Gu-won is allergic to looking at smiles because he thinks they're fake, but on top of that he doesn't know how to smile himself. While Sarang mocks him for being unable to smile, he boasts that he can do everything perfectly, but when he cracks a smile, it is a one-sided ghastly smirk. Tough for Gu-won to not look so handsome all the time, but he does it as even the photographer is appalled. But the assistant is confident he can Photoshop a smile. The next shot is on a boat with Gu-won holding a tiny fish and pretending it is big and heavy. Fed up with the commands, he just throws it back into the sea. The annoyed photographer heads back on a separate boat, but Gu-won and Sarang's boat malfunctions while they are in the middle of the ocean, and the man steering it is forced to take them to Gapadu Island for the night, as it is the closest. Meanwhile, Manager Deul is shocked to see that her new rules to stop the bullying traditions at the duty-free shop have not been followed. Annoyed, she decides to go back to the old ways if this also means no holidays for the senior staff members. The seniors apologize and Deul warns them that it is their last chance to treat everyone fairly. It is late at night by the time one's boat makes it back to land. However, they end up on the mini-island, Gapadu. There is not a single person in sight, nor any phone service. Afraid, but with no other option, one follows Sarang. They start bickering again as one claims he is not scared, but almost faints when a chicken crosses him. He tries to compose himself by airboxing, but faints for real when he spots a woman. He wakes up in a traditional house where he sees talismans, masks and a couple with knives. His own clothes are replaced by a farmer's outfit and he starts screaming for Sarang. Trying to escape, he falls out of the window only to see Sarang in a similar outfit. Turns out she carried him to the woman he saw, one of the owners of the hotel. The owners mistake them for a couple and they vehemently refuse. The old couple manages the place and they bring out their most precious traditional alcohol. As their competitive employer and employee, they have a drinking contest. By the end of the night, they're both extremely drunk and Gu-won begins to notice how beautiful Sarang's smile really is. An unrequited love is bubbling, for now. On the other hand, Sarang apologizes for throwing an unknown curveball at Gu-won during the interview. She understands that it was something serious. They give each other nicknames and go to sleep in the two suites. However, in the morning they realize that the only thing dividing their rooms is a curtain. And they find this out in the most embarrassing way as Sarang tries to take off her socks while standing and falls into the curtain. It breaks and she lands on top of a sleeping Gu-won. She jumps off and he stalks up to her. She is suddenly nervous, but he just opens the window behind her. The two then spend some quality time on the island with the beautiful views while on a bicycle given to them by the old man. However, they later find out the scam the old couple and the boat captain who is also their son had created. They try to overcharge the two, but Sarang stops Gu-won from complying with their wishes and properly deals with the price of everything provided by them. On the way back, Gu-won wonders why Sarang put so much effort when he could have easily paid them. She feels that deception is wrong and money should be earned honestly to preserve one's integrity. She also apologizes for the interview as she realizes he was hurt even if she doesn't know why. Back home, the trio catch up over drinks. They wonder about Gu-won and Sarang says he is a stuck-up jerk. Deol then asks about Ro-woon and the gift. Pyonghwa claims he is a junior and brushes it off. They walk Deol home to her daughter and are amused that none of them own cars as they don't earn much. When Gu-won gets back to Seoul, his father is furious with him for acting the way he did in the interview. His father is clear with Gu-won that he should discard his emotions and simply focus on the business. Gu-won tells his dad that he is not looking for his mother, but he wants to know the truth. His father simply refuses to answer that and tells him to keep his head in the game. As for Hwa-ran, she has no remorse, and when Gu-won reminds her that he is not interested in the company, she laughs it off. Yet, her actions and her pretentious attitude make it clear that she thinks of him as a threat and will continue to make his life difficult. Meanwhile, at the office, Gu-won's dad, aka the chairman, gives Sarang a promotion to King the Land, the VIP lounge, for her amazing work at the interview. Meanwhile, Gu-won is going through the photos and smiles as he zooms in on Sarang's. Sang-sik surprises him and he quickly changes the photo to his. This just makes him look like a narcissist, but seems that is better than being caught looking at Sarang. Sang-sik reveals the photos have already been chosen for the campaign and it includes the one where Gu-won has been photoshopped to have a cartoonish smile. He tells Sang-sik to get the photographer and once he is alone, he switches back to her photo. He looks at her and starts to smile before stopping himself. He suddenly gets an ad for a love test to see how he feels about that person. The online test informs Gu-won he has a crush on Sarang and encourages him to confess. The next scene has him walking in the lobby with intent as if he is about to do exactly that. However, the moment he sees her, he hides behind a plant. But he cannot stop looking at her as she clocks off. He prepares to gift her some macarons, but when he is about to give them to her, he sees her boyfriend hugging her. Gu-won goes back inside dejected, not knowing that Sarang must have wanted to break up with Yunam, as we saw in episode 2.